Today I want to talk about a few ways to get more fleet leadership limit in Infinite Galaxy, because the more warships you bring, the more punch you have. So stick around in this video for honestly a few of my biggest mistakes not investing in certain things to get the fleet leadership that I really needed. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming and this video has been sponsored by the makers of Infinite Galaxy. And I want to talk about a few of the ways, in fact, maybe even all of the ways that you can go and get fleet leadership. And I'm going to build up to my biggest mistake, the thing that I have focused on last, but I wish I had focused on sooner to get more fleet leadership limit. So let's break this thing down and talk about why fleet leadership limit is so important, then showcase all the areas where you can go and get it. And very simply, the more fleet leadership limit you have, the more warships you can bring, which for game modes specifically like the Galaxy Summit, this is absolutely crucial in your ability to win or not. And if you don't have enough warships to survive the entire time you're playing this game mode anyways, then maybe this isn't quite as important yet, but I promise you it will be important. And also, you get better trades the more warships you have, which means you'll have more warships the further you play through game modes like this, and also the Outermost Crusade. So let's talk about the different ways that you go and actually get more warships in your fleets. The first thing I want to talk about is your core module. Now, the core module is something that you may not have actually looked at in quite a while. For a very long time, I was using a development core module, and I'm still not done with all my buildings. I'm still not done with all my research. But at this point, I'm far enough along that I'm just leaving it in a wartime setup here, and that is maxing out the weapon trees, because I think those are it's just all really, really strong. But then also, I am now looking at how can I get more points into the command tree? And as my core module levels up and I get a few more points, I will finally be able to get the fleet leadership limit up to the left over here. Theoretically, you could prioritize this over other things in the weapon tree, but I do want to point out that to get this fleet leadership limit over here, you are going to have to pick up some things that are really worthless. Spaceport cannon defense is like completely irrelevant. Also, spaceport cannon hit points, like it's all irrelevant. However, the stuff on the left is pretty decent. Your flagship attack, and also I think this is hit points and armor and shields. All that's pretty decent. So this fleet leadership limit, I'm very close to being able to unlock. Really hyped about it. 1,000 more fleet leadership limit. It seems absolutely amazing. And then everybody should go and just drop 5 points over here. 5 points, 500 fleet leadership limit. This is a no-brainer slam dunk. Get this done. It's a high priority. Maybe even the first points you put in. Great choice. Now, in addition, there are other command or really, whenever I think of command, I see that yellow and I see the same command tree over here. If we go in near Spaceport Crew, there obviously are some optimizations you can make here as well. Now, there are crew members that either as a captain or in your spaceport, they're going to give you more fleet leadership limit, like Zhen Wenzhou, a fine crew member, honestly, for giving every one of your fleets more fleet leadership limit. I actually really like her in the main crew here. Also, this is Pearson. And Pearson gives a bunch of fleet leadership limit too, even for just being in your spaceport, which is very good. I like him in that role. I think that's a great spot for him. I might make him captain of a flagship at some point, but to be determined. Now, the other thing you can do in your command points over here is to have enough crew that you can get a bunch of points in this tree and invest in the command points that give you more fleet leadership limit. These occur very early on. 400 fleet leadership limit is nothing to sneeze at. And then further down in the tree, there's more fleet leadership limit. I think it's all the way over here. This is much further along. I haven't even gotten to this point yet. I could pick up a bunch of additional fleet leadership limit. I'm so close to being able to get it. Two things I can do to actually get this. It will be to either put more levels onto commanders that, or I guess crew members that give more command points, or I can switch up the balance of my crew members and have more crew members in here that give me those crucial command points, and that would actually get me where I need. Also, this right over here, I forgot about this one. This also is fleet leadership limit, different icon, but actually does that fleet leadership limit. So there's actually a lot in this tree, the command tree, that gives you fleet leadership limit, and all the way up at the top. Oh man. This is 1 point for 600 leadership limit. Oh, so good if you get that far up. Here's more. Yeah, okay. I covered that one already, actually. And I actually think the other things in here, the flagship related stuff, they're not that bad. They're pretty decent, especially if you are one of the stronger players in your nebula and you're likely to be the captain of the garrison in the Outermost Crusade. I talked about captain theory in a separate video. Card will be up in the top if you want to go check that out. So that is the crew and the crew-related points that could definitely influence your fleet leadership limit. We're not done yet. If you make your way over to your buildings. The one building that is really important is the military headquarters. This gives you a huge amount of additional fleet leadership limit. Do not neglect this building. It actually is ridiculous how much fleet leadership limit this gives. I tried to push this building as much as I could, as fast as I could. I know you're constrained on resources. If you don't have a farm, that can go a very, very long way on solving that problem. But this is a massive amount of fleet leadership limit. Do not sleep on it. And the other building that is related to fleet leadership limit is actually the flagship dock. This influences the level of your flagship. The higher level your flagship is, the more warships you can have. So if we get a look here, the fleet leadership limit of this Orion, it's 4.9k leadership boost base, and it's level 51, whereas if I look at the Cyclops, it's 6.2k. Because it's higher level, it's level 58. Or if I look at this level 5 Peleus, 330 leadership limit base, right? Or this level 15 is 830 leadership limit base. So leveling up your flagship means that you can have more warships, and that is a really important way to actually maximize your potential here. I really need to go and level these up. And to that end, when you are making a flagship combination, let me do it this way, actually. It's very important, like, which one you have as the primary and which one you have as the secondary. And if we just look here, the leadership boost stats of the auxiliary flagship take effect by 50%. So what that means is that whichever one of these is higher level probably should end up being your primary flagship because you get the fleet leadership limit boost halved for your auxiliary flagship. So you can see money where my mouth is. I've got the Hades and the Poseidon. The Poseidon's lower level. That's the secondary for that reason. There are other reasons, by the way, to use a higher level flagship as your primary. And I don't know exactly what the breakpoint would be between like an epic flagship and a legendary tier flagship. So there may be a little bit of wiggle room where you end up using an epic as the primary. So there may be a little bit of wiggle room where you're using a legendary as the primary, even though it's slightly lower level, because of the other stats related with your flagship. In fact, if I just tap on the power icon here, it shows you the attack bonus, the hit points, the armor, the shields, the damage output. If we just look at these two flagships, okay, are they the same for an epic and a legendary? Let's confirm. 1.4 million hit points, 1.6k armor. No. So there could be some cases where you do actually want a lower level legendary flagship to be the primary, just because it has at a base level more stuff. You are going to lose out on a little bit of fleet leadership limit. And this, I think, brings us to the final items here, the final things that boost your leadership limit. And one of these I didn't mess up. I got this right, which is that you can use an item. You can go to the trade center. You can go to the shop, go to the buff section. These items over here, the leadership bonus, are friggin' massive. You get so many more warships. This is an item that goes a very long way, and you can get some serious value if, you know, you've got like a Galaxy Summit and Outermost Crusade in the same day. You pop one of these, and it lasts a long time. That said, that's a lot of corium. But what doesn't cost you corium, unless I suppose you buy some crew experience with corium, is actually just leveling up your crew for your flagships, your captains. And this was my biggest mistake, by far. I, for way too long, was spreading my experience around my spaceport crew when what I needed to do is pick my two captains for Galaxy Summit and then invest 100% all in on those captains and take them to level 40. No questions asked. That would have been probably the biggest gain I could have got. And that's a lot of experience to go and do, but the leadership limit boost is actually kind of massive. So now I have Laura up to level 32, and the leadership boost is 1,700. I believe the max leadership boost is 2,600 or so. And it is also worth mentioning that the amount of leadership boost that a legendary and an epic give at the same level is the same. So for example, I've got Bolt, he's level 13, 325 leadership boost, and then I've got Harvey Garrett Wild, epic. He also gives 335 leadership boost. However, a legendary crew member or captain can be leveled up higher than an epic, which means not only do they have better other stats as well that they're bestowing to your flagship, but also you can take this legendary higher level. That means more stats, more stuff. Whereas the epic can only go to level 35. So that's probably one of my biggest mistakes in the game, was not actually investing in 2 captains really early and pushing very, very far on their level. And honestly, like I'm using, okay, this is my gathering flagship over here, but I do use 4 flagship pairs when I fight. And I mean, I really need to invest in these captains to get what I want to get out of these flagships, to bring enough, warships to overpower enemies. And okay, I mean, the flagships and the crew I have, they're really good. And all of these projects are fairly long-term. But I guess what I'm trying to say is between the 2 projects, I just kind of wish I had prioritized my captains more than I had, because I was prioritizing my spaceport crew more. Now, one last thing I do want to mention, however, about captains is that the captain of the auxiliary flagship is giving you 50% of those benefits. So the leadership boost stats of the captain appointed to the auxiliary flagship take effect by 50%, and the other stats take full effect. So you want to level up the captain of the primary flagship first, and then you can double back for the captain of the secondary flagship. However, it is only the leadership that gets cut in half there. So all the other stats are full here. Also, leadership skills take full effect. So if I had a captain, like, for example, if I, use this fleet over here, the Titan, Laura gives a leadership limit boost. If I actually put her as the secondary flagship, in fact, why don't I just show you? If I go like this, you will get the full benefit of her leadership boost. So you can see I can put a ton of additional warships in here. So that is because her skill gives leadership limit. Let me cancel saving that and just show that to you over here real quick. Because her skill gives the extra fleet leadership limit, you get the full value of this skill. But if she is the auxiliary flagship, you will get half the benefit of the leadership limit you see over here, which is that 1,700. Anyways, I think I've covered this topic pretty exhaustively. There may be 1 or 2 other things I missed, however, for getting more fleet leadership limit. So let me know down below in the comments what it is that I missed. If you enjoyed the video, throw a like on here and consider subscribing. And until next time, you have fun smashing your nebula.